Hello, this is Danny Raymond, the voice behind Ray's Guide. And once again, we have an evocati build going. And since they haven't kicked me off yet, I'm going to presume that what I am doing is in fact okay. That since they say we can talk about the evocati builds, we can talk about the release notes, and we can talk about our experience playing it. We just can't show the actual video stream. And so that's what I'm going to be doing. And let me see if I can go ahead and edit the title here. All right. So let's take a look at those very same. Okay. Apparently, this is going to be on the preview channel. It will be a 3.22 release. It is going to be a release so that we will not be seeing any 3.23 features at all. And we are going to be taking, as I said, the only real thing different about this preview channel is going to be the actual Pyro to Stanton jump point functioning, which would mean that this qualifies as the very first demonstration of server meshing that, in my opinion, actually meets the criteria of being server meshing. And so let's see if we can dig in. Okay. All right, let me bring this over here. So they're talking about the actual process of starting to do a server meshing. We move towards the jump point, nav point. Once we have to line it up, we then start with the B key. We get 15 kilometers, should see all green. I'm not sure what that means. And the jump drive will start aligning and then turning to the jump point. So apparently the jump drive will turn towards it itself. It appears that it is going to be somehow linked to it and using the B key. We'll be digging in here. All right, so let's launch it. In the tech preview channel. Is it on the regular evocati channel? In other words, I think by that you're meaning the EPTU. No, it appears to be on the tech preview channel. That's the one I have to select, but the access to it is the evocati. So apparently you have to be an evocati for this to come up for you. Okay, looks like people are getting in. So here's, it says, to perform a solar system jump via a jump point, the following 4 criteria must be met. The ship must have a functioning jump drive, and there should be any ship with quantum travel. The ship must be within range of the jump point, currently 15 kilometers. The user must have a Q-drive toggled on, so that's the B key as by usual. The ship must be aligned with the length of the jump tunnel to a maximum offset of about 22 degrees. That's a reasonable angle to achieve. Well, probably actually a little bit wider than you currently have to line up to a destination when you're doing quantum travel. So first, let's see if we can get in at all. It's asking me to create a character. I'll quickly run through the character. Again, this is 3.22, so we are not seeing any of the 3.23 features yet in this test. We're definitely not going to play the tutorial. And I'm going to pick Stanton system and area 18, because that is the closest to the jump tunnel. I suspect many people are also doing the same thing. Well, I do not think that they're going to necessarily have it up for the chat for more than evocati this weekend, because what they've demonstrated for this weekend is an evocati only test. So it's going to be up for a while, but it will be up only for the evocati, and I suspect that that is going to be the case, simply because I think, because they know that everybody's just going to be going to this one little location, and you can only have so many people doing that at once. So I'm in our corp now, and just at this point going through the motions to get me to running along with several other people. There's Andrasia again. There's 4 of us in the elevator here, so that's an indication that and none of us have even bothered to get out of our flight suits. So we're all jumping in and rushing to get to the so far the frame rate is acceptable, but not great. But really probably not worse than Area 18 in the live, where I was just a few minutes ago, collecting data for the, collecting screens and stuff for my next video, which is I just finished the editing when this came out. So probably, let's see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 8 of us, all in our flight suits, in the tram here at Area 18. So we're all jumping on. It's running right at it. And one of the things in the patch notes is that party jumping is not working. I hope that gets fixed fairly soon, because what we have been told is that it's going to be spreading us out over a fair amount of area at the exit unless we are party jumping. And maybe one of the reasons why we are not going to be sending this to a larger group of people yet. Okay. Okay, we may have a freeze here. Maybe my first freeze of the of this evocati patch. Okay, I'm waiting for the 30 seconds here, because it looks like we may have our first hang of this evocati build. Again, not surprising. Yeah, we got our first crash. Nothing is happening, no bit rate. This is going to be a I don't know if this is actually a 30K jump or not. With the last couple builds, on this computer at least, it doesn't actually give the 30K message. On my other computer, on my laptop, it does. All right, just popped up. Since I wasn't doing anything particular, I won't try to get into the details. Just submit the automated crash report, and then we're going to relaunch Star Citizen. It will be lucky, I think, if we get the get to one actual go through of the jump tunnel in this. I'm not really sure. What feature am I most excited about in 3.23? Boy, that's a big one. New star map. I'll just pull that one off the top because it is certainly one I am very excited for. We've been living with that, and I was dealing a lot with the star map today in building my the video I'm going to be releasing in just a few minutes. There we go. Thank you for your submission. Let's relaunch Star Citizen. Okay, as I said, star map, and then I think the new FPS features I think are a very good thing. And the third one is what would the third one be? Again, it's hard to pick favorites here. Star map, FPS, and then third is new character creator. It's got that's got a big feature. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm a little bit frustrated that we still can't do anything below the neck customization, since that is some of my favorite games did that. So, okay, now we're getting in for the second try. All right. It'll be interesting to see where I am when we get back into Area 18, how well the server crash recovery is working. At the loading screen. Waiting to get in. Okay, and I am still at the spaceport, exactly where, so the crash recovery worked superbly. Meshing has brought me in to the same place, and there's still lots of people running around. The universe is popping in all around me. Very humorous effect here, a bit. Okay, bunch of people here. Let's call up a craft. Since this is, I think I will just go with my trusty Avenger Titan here. Request delivery. Again, none of this is looking any different than 3.22. So. taking me to my hangar. Server seems to be struggling a bit here. All right. Yes, that's why you are only seeing me and not seeing the actual screen. Evo means evocati. That's a select group of users that are under non-disclosure agreements. So that's why I cannot show you the screen, but they've apparently opened up the rules on evocati testing. We can now talk about the release notes, and we can now talk about our experiences. So that's why if I turn the camera around, I will be given a strict admonition. Probably kicked off the evocati program entirely. But since they didn't complain the last time I did this, here we're going to be going. No, they will kick you out of evocati for doing too much of the wrong thing. Okay, calling the ATC. No, this is 3.22. It's 3.22, but with Pyro and Stanton. So it's very much like the last Evo they did. But the last Evo they said, do not go through the jump tunnel. And this time they are saying, yes, go through the jump tunnel. Probably most of your very dedicated streamers are also evocati. Also, most of your dedicated YouTube members are also pretty much, people that are, yes, you can visualize a little, except the sound is being very choppy. Right now I'm just facing the door, and it looks like we're having our second 30K of this build. Everything seems to be frozen at the moment. So yeah, I suspect any moment. But the recovery in this build, as first time around was good. I suspect I may recover still inside of my Avenger here in the hangar. Yay, recovery time! Okay, here we are. Yep, there it is. Submit. The automated crash. I always go ahead and submit the automated crash, because that's one of the main reasons what we're doing here is submitting data for the crash reports. Go, go, go. Yep. We are now if only I smoked. Nah. What difference would that make? All right, second automated crash recovery. Relaunching. Yeah, I guess, as well as a daiquiri, I think, would go well with this hat. If I took a smoke every time I had to do a 30K, my lungs would be falling out of my body, probably. So, looking at the launch screen again. So 20 minutes, 2 crashes is the rate we're at right now, which is again not alarming for an Evo build. We're going to try to get in again. It is crashing the desktop. It is, I believe, a 30K error. As I said, something strange with this computer in the last few builds is that I do not actually get the 30K message, but it behaves like a 30K. The client, everything freezes up, nothing's going on. But the first recovery was a recovery to the exact same point where I was standing in Area 18. The second crash occurred while I was just lifted off the pad in the cockpit of my Avenger. So it'll be interesting to see where I come back in. Actually, while we're here, and I am still in the Avenger, and I'm still hovering, and the door is opening in front of me. That is pretty impressive, I would have to say, to return to so much exactly the same spot. Now out into the cloudy evening sky of Area 18. Up and away. Pull up the gear. Again, this is still all just 3.22 branch, so there's no nothing new in the visuals, not the 3D clouds or any of the other things we've been seeing talked about. Okay, Stanton Pyro jump point, 16 million kilometers away. The quantum drive. And we're on our way to the Stanton Pyro jump point. Hoorah! Turning the camera 90 degrees, which direction? All you'll see is the lights. I guess if I turn my camera in this direction, you could see the computer I'm dealing with. 12900K. This is 90 degrees. It's not 180. 12900K, 64 gigabytes of memory, 3080 Ti. Good, but not impossibly good in the current day and age. As in, I didn't have. No, I did not have to go. I was. The system crashed with me sitting in the cockpit. Elevated to about 18 feet above the floor. I returned to the cockpit, 18 feet above the floor. Yeah, I do like the case, and I've gotten excellent airflow out of it. So it's pretty and functional as well. It'd be a great case to. I do not do anything particular to configuration, so the E-cores are not off. I just leave the E-cores on and let Windows figure out which ones to use. I'm told that if I turn the E-cores off, I would get a little bit better performance, but then I have to remember to turn them on and turn them off for different functions, and that is, yeah. And the doors were still up. Actually, they were kind of frozen. But as soon as I logged back in, the doors kept resumed moving towards the end. As I said, now it looks like I'm looking up at the screen here. The animation for the quantum travel is not moving. It's frozen. And neither is my screen updating. So I'm not getting new updates of the frames per second or all the other things. So I do not know if this is a hang or a freeze. The sound just hiccuped on me, and yes, here we are. So this is interesting. This hang happened right in the middle of quantum travel. So when we get back, will I still be in quantum travel? Will I be at the jump gate, or will I be still back in ArcCorp, or will it be all the way back to my bed? So the automated crash report. I have no idea. I'm going to. We're currently at 28 minutes. I'll just put a budget of an hour. If I haven't reached the jump gate in an hour, yeah. So I don't. Am I still at this point making progress towards the jump point? That's why I don't know where I'll be when I get back in. So let's relaunch Star Citizen. And again, I do not know if what's going on here are server crashes or client crashes, because I'm not getting any of the usual error messages. Because my screen is freezing up so completely, I am more aligned along the idea that they are client crashes triggered by some failure update from the server, because I'm not getting this kind of instability in the production build. So it probably has something to do with this test build and the replication layer. Anyhow, we're at the loading screen, coming up to the main menu at the moment. Okay, hub authentication. It still says our current location is area 18. This will be interesting because how often does the replication layer save? The replication layer is saving real time. And this is interesting. As I said, I crashed while I was in Quantum Drive. I am not in Quantum Drive, but I am in the cockpit of my Avenger. 1,069,617 kilometers from the Stanton Pyro jump point. So apparently, it brought me back to pretty much exactly the right location where I was, but just not in Quantum Drive. So I can spool up Quantum Drive. This is impressive. This is the first time that I had a crash while in Quantum Drive, and it brings me back to the exact same place in the verse that I was at when I crashed. But not. The only difference is I'm not actually in Quantum Drive. So again, what they've been doing with the replication layer and recovery is well, it's the way it should be. But there are very few games that that are that robust. So I am impressed by it. What that means is that we are definitely getting, in terms of the recovery and in terms of throughput, a pretty good performance out of the entity graph database that sits behind the replication layer. If there's something not going very well with the replication layer, it's its consistency of communication to the client. Okay, coming up on the Stanton Pyro jump point. And boom, just as we were arriving and ending our quantum drive at the location, just as I was seeing the clouds come into focus, we get, I believe this is our fourth crash of this evocati test. Again, you don't really, I'm submitting the automated crash report as we. Did you disable DLSS? I did not. Yeah, this is a 3.22 build, so I do not think the DLSS would be in it. I would not test without DLSS on because, you want to test the way in which people will be expected to use this software upon release. Which is why, and the reason why is I don't usually turn the E-cores off, because a typical gamer does not reconfigure their computer when they switch from one game to another. So the automated crash report is going up. Thank you for your submission. You are welcome. And let's relaunch Star Citizen. I'd be interested to see if this time the welcome screen says if we are in Pyro jump point or not. Yeah, I mean, there shouldn't really be a reason why turning on or off the E-cores would be all that necessary to play games if the operating system was doing a good job of detecting which processes to put on which threads. And I think that's what they're now doing, which is why it's not as big a deal as it used to be when the P-core and E-core issue first feature first came up on the on Intel chips. Okay. In the loading screen, for some reason in this build, it's asking me to, what's my video device? It pops up that just before I get into the loading screen, persistent universe. It's still saying I'm at area 18. So let's see here. As I said, so far, every one of the crashes has returned me right to where I was. If so, I will be just in the outskirts of the Stanton Pyro jump point. But this meantime, I might not be, because the welcome screen still said I was at area 18. So let's see what happens. Am I an Evo? Yes. Is this an Evo build? Yes. And that's why I'm not showing you the screen. And yeah, very well. I am 3,000 kilometers away from the Stanton Pyro jump point, right at the end of the jump tunnel. So let me put in Pyro Gateway as calibrated. So it's a gorgeous screen. But it's the same screen in 3.22. There's nothing different here, but I do love the clouds effect, even though there is no scientific reason why there would be clouds here. But show the clouds anyhow. This I'd be willing to put aside, because we don't know what a jump point was supposed to look like anyhow. All right. Okay, Pyro Gateway. Okay, I'm at the station. Okay, I think I see. Okay, there are the lights for the actual jump tunnel. So we're heading. What ship am I flying? I am flying an Avenger. It's always been one of my favorite, I guess you would term them daily driver ships. It's been the game for a long time, and thanks to the alphabetical order, it was the first one on the list. So that's why I grabbed it. I wasn't going to waste much time in actually thinking about what ship I was going to be driving. But I didn't know I wanted something that's going to be simple to fly, have a reasonably long range. I wouldn't have to worry about fuel or stuff getting back and forth to Pyro. Now, they did not say if the procedure we will be flying today is the exact same feature that it will eventually be. Because this is 3.20, because remember at CitizenCon, they showed kind of a new way of getting into quantum drive. And I suspect that we will be doing something similar, but for this test, they're pretty much saying that you're just going to now it says I am currently 24.2 kilometers away. It's hard to see. I think just under 20 at this point. I'm seeing other ships. I think that's a Hercules. But I'm running right down the tunnel of all the advertisements and structure. If you see the jump tunnel, it's nothing here is physically different. 18.3, 17 kilometers. There seems to be a new animation here at the end of the tunnel. Okay, jump point angle 0.00 of 22.5 distance. So it's giving me some green, and I think I need to turn off the chat to see this better. Status online, jump point status not detected, drive operation idle. I am green for the angle and still red for the distance. The text to color, it basically is I'm getting the warning sign, fuel service not guaranteed past jump point. Yeah, no fooling, Sherlock. Fuel service is not guaranteed past jump point. Leaving United Empire of Earth jurisdiction, entering Pyro. Oh my goodness. I'm sitting here seeing the sign, actually seeing an 890 jump right ahead of me that's also not moving. And I think we may be having yet another client hang just mere inches, a 0.18 of a kilometer from what apparently is the green zone. And I get another hang. Is this frustrating or what? Is there a physical gate? Now, there is nothing physically different from what I am seeing now from what you would see right now in the 3.22 live build, with the exception of, I think I see a little particle effect ahead. So far we are not seeing anything different, except for the fact right now my client has hung and I'm waiting for me to be dumped to the desktop. But so far, each one of the hangs and dumps and recovery has put me in exactly the same location. So, okay, automated crash report, submit. Take a few minutes to do that, but could the dust be pulled toward the gravity of the jump point? Well, that's actually something I'm mentioning in the video I just finished, and that is an interesting question. Is does the jump point have mass? Does a jump point have mass? And the importance of that fact is that if it has mass, then it has to be in orbit. If you follow me here, because if it had mass and wasn't in orbit, it would be falling towards the sun. But it's staying right where it is, which means either A, it has mass and is in orbit, which would then mean that it would be in the same, since it's in roughly the same orbital path as ArcCorp, its relationship to ArcCorp would stay pretty much constant once we finally get the planets moving. And I'm a big advocate of getting the planets moving. If it doesn't have mass, then there's no reason for it to orbit, or no ability for it to orbit, actually, and it would still be stuck at a static location in place. They put in TSR, FSR. They haven't yet. This is, again, the 3.22 build. So none of the 3.23 features are in place. I know they're talking about doing it. But other than the presence of the replication layer, Pyro, Stanton, and the server mesh. This is pretty much a pure 3.22 build. So if you're expecting from my another Evo tester is jumping back and forth easily. Okay, well, good for them. I'm more testing the crashing and recovering part of it. So there probably is something specific to my build, or my Ethernet, or my something or other. I hope whatever it is, they get it fixed based on my crash reports. Yeah, the new UI is going to be good. Definitely one of the top features. Okay. Interesting. I'm not exactly at the same point I left off. I am 43 kilometers. From the jump tunnel, instead of an eighth of a kilometer from the distance. It would be interesting to compare the system specs if there's something different. Now I'm running a fairly minimal, not many other things running on my taskbar. Although I do have my video editor up from editing that video earlier. Why don't I take a moment? I'm going to simplify the other programs I have running. Close that one. And close those windows. So I'm pretty much just running OBS, Word, and Star Citizen. So it's a pretty, I don't think there's many other programs that could be conflicting. Certainly nothing. Okay. Says I'm okay on the angle. 24 kilometers out of 15 minimum. There are some rocks to dodge. Actually, no, it's not a rock. That's an 890 jump. But there are also some rocks. That looks like a Mercury Star Runner just jumping into the tunnel. Okay, looks like I'm all green. So what's the last step? Jump drive status tuning. Okay. Do I hold B as the last step? Okay, let's check the patch notes. What's the very last step? Okay, it's not saying there's anything I need to do at this point. Okay. All right. Looks like I've got. Oops. Looks like it's happening again. Well, I was flying up very close. I was seeing other ships moving, and now it looked like it backed me up, and now I am back to being frozen. There does not appear to be a new component for jump drives. Oh well. I tell you, look at my HUD here just before I dump to the screen. There's a whole lot of blue dots. All right. So I think I've lost track. Is this the 6th? Happy testing. Yep. All right. Thank you for your submission. Okay. This is tantalizingly close. And There does not, at least if there is a new component for jump drives, it is not in this build. Reset the GPU driver after each crash. Okay, I'll look into doing that. But again, the idea isn't necessarily to avoid the crashes. The idea is to do what an ordinary user would do. I mean, if the experienced hands can get the system to work and ordinary people can't, and they think, oh, everything's wonderful, and release the game, then ordinary people are going to be very, very frustrated. And that's, of course, not the goal of testing. Your goal as a tester should be to behave not like in most senses just like an ordinary user. Do what an ordinary user would do. Okay. Okay, I am 2,000 meters from the jump point, apparently. Back in the game. I think I'll just go towards the light, as they would say. I mean, the radar is showing tons and tons of blue ships. I don't know if it's like has us in some sort of a queue that it's only letting us through one at a time or something. I get a progress bar that says jump drive status tuning. It runs from 0 to completed, and then it just sits there. So I'm not sure. At this point, something, if my understanding is right, at this point, something should be happening, and at this point, something is not happening. Let's look at a couple things. Chat does not seem to be, so it's not telling me how many users are on the server. Okay. Well, it looks like another hang up here. Well, let's see. Well, at this point, looks like I got another hang. As I said, I promised I would budget an hour for this, and it's probably getting pretty boring for you guys. So I'm gonna, at this point, knock off the stream unless you guys have any questions about what's been going on here. Then I'll probably hang around here, and if I get this figured out or it starts behaving more consistently, I'll open up another stream. But there's really not much going on here other than doing usual evocati, trying to see how it works, loading the server, having it kick us out to desktop. Pretty typical. So I've gotten to the gate. I've seen other people come in and out. I've seen a big crowd of folks here. I do occasionally run the in-game file checker. That's one of the things I will do as soon as I get off the stream here. But for the moment, we're working on it. It's supposed to be up all weekend, so I'm sure sometime before the end of the weekend it'll get stabilized a little bit, as I'm sure they are right now, tweaking the dials and crunching the numbers. But for the moment, I will let this go and sign out. Fly safe, keep it real, and I'll see you in the verse. This is Ray. This is Daniel Raymond with Ray's Guide.